Hey guys, today is Monday, April 27th, and before we start, I want to talk to you about GED testing. Some good news right here. All right, we are going to start doing GED test. Now, it's not going to be the way we used to where we could take a whole bunch of people at once and test. It's going to be very limited. You will still sign up the way you used to. The definite dates of when it's going to start isn't quite set up yet, but what I'm going to tell you is probably next week we will start testing a very small bit of people at a time. So listen, this is your inspiration. This is why you're doing this over this crazy quarantine, because we're going to be able to start testing soon. So take this math serious. I'm going to give you as much details as fast as I learn them. I'm going to pass them on to you. Right now, that's all I know. Let me go ahead and take these off. So just to let you know, it's around the corner. So take this seriously. Aztec has Flash in it. If you don't have the account, let me know. That is probably one of your best ways to study. All right, let's just do a quick review. Remember, this means square root, and the square root of 144 means what times what is 144, where the numbers are exactly the same. So you're thinking in your head, what times what gives me 144? Numbers have to be the same. And 12 times 12 gives me 144, so the answer is 12. What times what gives me 36, where the numbers are the same? Give you a second. Hopefully you said 6. Remember, 7 squared means 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 3 squared is 9. Now, the first part of the GED, when you don't get to use a calculator, you're going to probably see a question or two like this. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to give you a second to try these couple. Okay, so I've got the square root of 100. So I'm thinking to myself, what times what gives me 100? Where the numbers are the same. 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 2 squared means 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Can that be reduced? Yeah, they both can be divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That probably will not be the way the GED wants the answer. They'll probably want you to go ahead and say, how many 2's are in 5? How many times can you divide 2 into 5? 2 times. And when you put 2 2's into 5, which is 4, how much will be left over? 5 minus 4 is 1 over 2. All right, the next two, I think the numbers are going to work out more evenly. Go ahead and give these two a try. Press pause, try these, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so I'm hoping that you press pause. I hope you're taking notes today, especially knowing that test is around the corner. I'm really excited that we're going to be able to start testing, and I hope you guys will be as excited about it as me and get ready for it. Okay, what times what gives me 144 where the numbers are the same? 12. We did one just like that up there. Oops, sorry. What times what gives me 36? We did that up there too. 6. Now, how many times will 6 go into 12? 2. The answer is 2. All right, here. What times what is 64 where the numbers are exactly the same? 8 times 8 is 64. 3 squared is 9. 8 times 9 is 72. Okay? All righty. Little review on ratios. We did this last week. So I'm going to give you a second to try it, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so I hope you tried it. I want to see if anybody got tricked by this question. Harmony won 5 games out of 25. What is the ratio of wins to losses? Well, we know they won 5. How many did they lose? They didn't lose 25. There was a total of 25 games. Now, this is the way the GED will probably give you this question. We didn't practice it quite this tricky last week. It was more straightforward. Okay, there's 25 games total. They won 5. That leaves us with 20. The 20 are the ones that they lost. So the ratio says wins to losses. Can't talk. So 5 to 20. Can that be reduced? Sure. Did you get tricked by that one? Got to read them really close. Okay, here's another one. The ratio of cars to trucks at an auto dealership is 3 to 2. If there are 144 cars at the dealership, how many trucks are there? Press pause and please try this one. Okay, so I'm hoping you tried it. I hope you're not waiting for me. All right, I'm going to write this out, the ratio of cars to trucks. So cars came first, so cars must be my 3. So this is my cars. Trucks came second, so this is my trucks. That just kind of helps me because look at this, 144 cars. I know a number's going to go on top and a number's going to go on the bottom, or an X. We see 144 cars, so that's going to go on the bottom. This is my unknown. We're going to find out how many trucks. Oh, I did that one wrong. I'm sorry, I'm looking through my phone. Whoops. Let's start over. 3 cars to 2 trucks. Right? 3 cars to 2 trucks. We had that set up right. Then we were going to put 144, but 144 is the cars. The cars go on the top because we have that right there, the cars. This is my unknown. Now, I don't know about you, but I always like to stop and think about the question first. Like, what's my answer going to look like? If 3 cars, that's bigger, my cars are bigger here, is my truck number going to be bigger than 144 or smaller than 144? I am hoping you said smaller. All right, so first thing we're going to do is cross multiply. So I'm going to say 3 times x is 3x. And I'm going to say 2 times 144 is 288. Now, I don't want 3x. I want just x. So now I have to divide both sides by 3. And when I do that, let me get my calculator, I get 96. 3 into 288 is 96. Now, does that make sense? My number is smaller, and we think that it should be smaller because cars were bigger here, trucks were smaller. Cars were bigger, trucks were smaller. So make sure you always kind of think ahead. What's my answer going to look like? All right, something new. Those were just kind of some review things. We're going to talk about simple interest. Now, simple interest is not what you get at your bank and not what you get charged when you get a loan for a car. Simple interest is usually done more with friends. It's your interest is equal. Here's your formula: principal times rate times time. Principal times rate times time. Principal is either how much you borrowed or how much you deposited into an account to earn some kind of money, okay? Rate is the percent. Time, this is very, very important, is always in years. It's always in years. So, for instance, if I did a loan for you over 24 months, I would change that from months to years because it's always in years. So 24 months, I hope you realize, equals 2 years. 12 months equals 1 year. Now, what about if I had 9 months? Well, let's go back to 24 months. Years are 12 months, so everything's related to the 12 months. So if I did it like this, I'd say how many times will 12 go into 24? 2. If I did this, 12 over 12, that's 1. So if I needed to, I could do it like this. 9/12. So it's not a whole year, it's 9/12 of a year. And 9/12, they both can be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 9 months is 3/4 of a year. Not a whole year, but 3/4. Same here. I could say over 12. I could say, hey, I can reduce them. And I would get 1/4. So when I go to do the formula, I would use 1/4 for here, because remember, it is always turned into years. So if you're given months, you got to turn it into years. All right. One more thing we need to know is when you're looking at the percents. If they say 10%, when I'm doing math on my calculator or on a piece of paper, I want to cross out the percent sign and move the decimal 2 places. So I either want to put my calculator 0.10, or really I can get rid of that 0 and just say 0.1. Look at this, 5%. Cross the percent sign out, move the decimal 2 places. So what I'm going to put in the calculator is 0.05. Take a moment and do these two for me. Okay, so hopefully you crossed out the percent and moved it 2 times. So if you have a question that says 3%, in the calculator we're going to actually put 0.03 and 0.01. That's going to help us. That's just some background. And also some background that we're going to need for today's lesson. If you're given 0.3 and they say, hey, what percent is that? Well, remember, when we were going from a percent to a decimal, we moved this way. When we're going from a decimal to a percent, we move this way. Guess how many places? 2 places. So 0.3 is really 30%. 0.02, move it 1, 2. It's now back here. We can get rid of that 0. It's really 2%. Go ahead and do those 2 for me, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Press pause. Okay, I'll go 1, 2, and that makes that 42%. 1, 2, add a 0. That makes that 10%. So that's a little background knowledge that we needed for this. Now, let's go back. Give me 1 second. I'm not finding it. All right. Okay, let's go back to our formula. Remember, our formula for interest is principal times rate times time. All right, so here we go. If I borrow $3,000 from my daughter, she's the only one in the family that ever has cash, for 6 months, she charges 7% interest. What is the total I will owe her at the end of the 6 months? Okay, so my formula, principal, rate, time. Principal is how much you either loan or borrow. So, wait, I didn't say that right. Principal is either how much you borrow or how much you deposit. That's what I should have said, not loan. So it's either how much you take away and you're going to pay them interest, or how much you deposit and someone's going to pay you interest. So my principal is $3,000. So I'm going to put that right here. That's how much I'm borrowing. My rate is 7%. And my time is 6 months. But we got to make some changes here. We can keep the 3,000 the way it is. But do you remember what we said we always do with the percent sign? We cross it out, move it 2 places, and we change that to 0.07. And remember, we said that we don't use months. Everything's in relation to years. So this is 6 months, so I'm going to put it over 12. So like 6 over 12, they both can be divided by 6. It gives me a half. So this is a half a year. Another thing we could use instead of a half, think about it. If you have a half a dollar, what do you have? You have 50 cents. So let's not use a half. Let's use 0.5 because they mean the same thing. If you, like I said, if you had a half a dollar, that's 50 cents. So we could just call that 0.5. So let's now go in our calculator and take the $3,000 principal, the amount that I'm going to borrow, times it by the 0.07, and times it by 0.5. When I do that, I get 105. So that's how much I'll pay in interest. Remember, all this equaled interest. So I'm actually going to owe my daughter $105 more for interest. So now you always have to be careful. What's the question? Is the question how much interest will I pay? That would be 105. Or is the question how much I'll have to owe her at the end of 6 months? I will owe her at the end of 6 months. So that means I have to say the 105 for the interest plus the $3,000 that I borrowed to start with. That means I will owe her $3,105 at the end of 6 months. All right, I want you to try this one. So go ahead and hit pause, and I will see you back here in just a second. Please really try it. Okay, so I hope you wrote interest equals principal times rate times time. If I deposit money, this is where you're depositing money. This is where you're going to make interest. On my other one, I owed interest. Here I'm going to actually make more money. So the amount I deposited, my principal, is $4,000. My rate is the percent I'm going to get on this, 2%. And the time is how long. Okay, so 18 months. Remember, we always change this to related to years. So I'm going to go ahead and say 18 over 12. So let's see. They both can be divided by 2. That gives me 9, 6. They both could be divided by 3. That gives me 3 over 2. Well, let's see. I could leave it that way, or I could say 2 will go into 3. How many times? 1. How many will be left over? 1 over 2. So that's 1.5. Now let's talk money. If you had $1.50, how much money do you have? I'm hoping you say $1.50. Well, we're going to leave that 0 off and call it 1.5. So as far as time, this is going to be what we're going to use in our calculator, 1.5. Remember, we're going to cross out our percent sign, move our decimal 2 places. So we're going to use 0.02, and we're going to do 4,000. So that's what we're going to be putting in our calculator, 4,000 times 0.02, and 18 months is really a year and a half. So I'm going to put 4,000 times 0.02 times 1.5. When I do that, I get 120. So this time I'm earning money. I'm making $120 extra. So that's the amount of interest. Now you got to be careful about the way the question is worded. How much interest will I earn? They're only caring about the interest. So my answer would be 120. If they said how much total will I have at the end of the 18 months, that would be different. I would add the 4,000 to the 120 and have 4,120. So always be careful how they word the question. All right, let's move on. Tax, tip, and profit. Okay, whenever you pay tax, your bill gets bigger. Whenever you leave a tip, your bill gets bigger. Whenever you are in your own business and you sell something for a profit, the price is bigger than what you paid for it because you want to make money. So tax, tip, and profit, remember your price is always going to go up. It's always going to get bigger because you're going to add to it. So, for instance, I buy a shirt for $34. Tax is 7%. What is my total bill? Okay, we already know we get rid of the percent sign and move it 2 places. So we're going to take our regular price item, 34. We're going to times it by tax, 0.07. I get 28, carry my 2, 21 plus 2 is 23. Move my decimal 2 places, move my decimal 2 places. We've already gone through that in previous lessons. So $2.38. Is that my total bill? I'm hoping you're shaking your head. No, that's the tax. How do I figure out my total bill? Well, I take the 34 that I started with, and I add the $2.38. Shouldn't my bill be bigger than it was before? Yes, because when you add tax, your bill gets bigger. So now I'm ready to add, and I find out my bill is $36.38. So that's how much I'm really going to pay for this shirt. All right, I got some for you to try. Oops, sorry. All right, here's one for you to try. You buy a shirt for $25. Be careful on the wording here. And 2 pairs of shorts that are each $12. Tax is 6%. What is your total bill? Okay, so I'm going to give you a hint. You first have to figure out how much all of this adds up to before you put in your tax. So go ahead and press pause, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so we have a shirt that costs $25. We have 2 pairs of shorts that each cost $12. So I'm going to take this and say 2 times 12 is 24. I'm going to add up, and right now I have $49. But I have to pay 6% sales tax. So I'm going to take that $49, and what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply. I'm not going to multiply by 6. I'm going to move my decimal 2 places and multiply by 0.06. 6 times 9 is 54. Carry my 5. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 5 is 29. Move my decimal 2 places. Move my decimal 2 places. And that's $2.94. What is this? I always like to write it here. It's the tax. Now go back and see what the question is. What is your total bill? It doesn't want to know $2.94. It wants to know what your total bill is. So I'm going to take this 49. I'm going to add the $2.94 to it. So $49 plus $2.94. I find out my total bill is $51.94. That's how much I'm going to pay for my shirt and 2 shorts. Okay, here's another one for you. Your meal was $34 and you leave your waitress 20%. Oops, I forgot to say tip. Sorry about that. What was your total bill? Go ahead and press pause, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so my dinner cost $34. I'm leaving a 20% tip, so I'm moving my decimal. I can either say times 0.20, or I can say 34 times 0.2 and drop the 0. Try it both ways. I guarantee you're going to get the same answer. So I'm going to go do this one right here. I get 8, I get 6, move my decimal once, $6.80. Now, what is this? This is my tip. What's my total bill? Well, I have to take the $34 and add it to the $6.80. So 34 plus $6.80. That gives me $40.80. So how much I'm going to pay before I walk out of the restaurant is $40.80. Tax, tip, and profit are all done the same way. Now let's talk about discount. Discount, your price should go down. You should be subtracting. Remember, with tax, tip, and profit, your price went up and you added. Like, let's go back to this last question right here. What did we do to figure out my total bill? I added. Now we're doing discount. Our price should get smaller. I have a 20% coupon at TH Pennies. If I use this coupon to buy a pair of $60 pants, what will the sale price be? So my price of the pants is $60. I'm going to times it by 20%, just like we did for the tax, tip, and profit. I could either do that, or remember, I could drop the 0 and just times it by 0.2. Last time I did this one, I'll do this one this time. 0 times 0 is 0. Everything would be 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Move my decimal 2 times. So I find $12. I'm going to just go ahead and do this one for you because I know a lot of you are like, are you sure? 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Move my decimal once. $12. Okay, is this my total price? No, this is my discount, or how much I'm going to save. What do we do with discount and savings? We subtract it. So my total bill, or my original price of my pants was $60. So 60 minus 12 gives me $48. How much am I going to pay? $48. Whole lot better than $60. Okay, this one, here you go. Go ahead and give this one a shot. Pause, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so you buy a pair of jeans that normally cost $70, but you get a 30% discount. So I'm going to take my 70, move my decimal. I'm going to times it by 0.3. After I move my decimal, I get 21. That's how much I saved today, not the total. Now I go back to the original price, and the original price was 70, and I'm going to subtract 21. I get $49. So I'm paying $49 for these jeans. Okay, last one. I threw a lot in here, so take a moment and look at it. You use a 20% coupon on 2 jeans that normally each cost $80. Tax is 7%. What is your total bill? I will see you back here in just a minute. Make sure you pause and try this one. Okay, so I'm buying 2 jeans at $80. So I got to do that first. 80 times 2 is 160. Now I'm going to use my 20% coupon. I'm going to get rid of my percent sign, move my decimal 2 places. I'm going to go ahead and just say 0.2. So I'm going to say 160 times 0.2. 0, 12, carry my 1, 2, 3, move my decimal once, move my decimal once. So that means that I'm saving $32. Oh, I'm still not done. Now, how much do these 2 jeans cost? I have to take my 160. I have to subtract, because it's a discount. I'm saving money. My price should go down. I'm going to subtract 32. I get 128. Instead of paying 160, I'm going to pay 128. Much better deal. Now I'm still not done, because I now have to put tax on here. So I take the 128, get rid of my percent sign, move it. I times it by 0.07, 56, carry my 5, 14, 19, 1, 7, 8. Put my decimal. This is my tax right here. $8.96, and what do we know about tax? We add it. So now I got to say 128 plus $8.96. And I get $136.96. It's a lot of steps for this question, but those are important questions. They're going to be asking these kind of questions on the GED, so make sure you do know these steps and know how to do that. All right, I know this video turned out much longer than I expected to. I'm so sorry. I thought it was going to be short. Make sure you do the quiz in Teams. If you don't know how to get in Teams and you want help, please call me today. I want to help you. If you don't know how, at least send me a note and remind and say, I saw the video, so I can give you a credit for attendance, and then also do some work in Aztec if you can't take the quiz. I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. Bye.